let's see another Piers Morgan debate with Nerdeen Kiswani.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored, live from New York City. I'm joined now by my pack, the founder of the community-based Palestinian-led organisation Within Our Lifetime, Nerdeen Kiswani, former Conservative MP Louise Mensch, and the broadcaster Emily Austin. All right, let's try and keep things civilised, shall we?
Okay.
Nerdeen,
Depends on the question.
You were born in Jordan. You just told me off air. You're an American citizen, but very much a Palestinian in your heart, obviously, and your blood. What did you make, first of all, before I get to what Mossab Youssef was saying, what did you make of Queen Rania's comments as the Queen of Jordan about all this?
You know, I believe that all Arab leaders can take a stronger stance in support of Palestinian liberation, particularly considering that, you know, the citizens of Jordan, most Jordanians, support Palestine. If anything, actually, most people who live in Jordan are Palestinian descendants that have been ethnically cleansed from their land and ended up as refugees in Jordan, just like my family did. And so I believe that, you know, Jordan and all these Arab countries should stand unequivocally with the people of Palestine, even stronger now. And
Mossab Youssef there, I mean, it's an extraordinary interview with a guy whose father was a founder of Hamas. He's absolutely clear that he believes you got to get rid of Hamas and then there can be peace and there can be what people want there. Do you agree with him?
I believe if you want to stop Palestinian resistance, you're going to have to kill every single Palestinian. Because regardless of
what if you want to stop Hamas?
I believe any form of resistance Palestinians take is going to be...
Just going into another route.
Isn't resistance if you actually commit an act of terror?
How can Palestinians defend themselves in a way that isn't considered terrorism?
Well, I'll give you the difference, right, which was argued. Actually, Gary Kasparov, the chess legend, today articulated what he saw was the difference. On October the 7th, hundreds of invade a country, Israel, and they brutally set on fire. That is, by any yardstick, an act of appalling. Israel responds with what they say are targeted airstrikes at places they believe Hamas are hiding in Gaza. That's disputable, I get that, but that's what they say. They are qualitatively different. The death toll may not be different, but the intention of what is going on is different.
And that's exactly what happened in Deir Yassin in 1948, where people...
Okay, going back 70 years again.
Fire bombed at Tantura, where Palestinians had to dig their own graves before they were shot into it. England started, just to finish this point, England orchestrated this genocide. So I'm actually happy that, you know, both of you are here.
Was actually Susan
resisted, but you have a lot of reach there. So we resisted when there was the British occupation, and we will continue to resist any occupation that exists in Palestine.
All right, let me bring in Emily.
I just want to ask you a question. So last we left it, you did refuse to condemn Hamas Israelis on October 7th, and it seems as if nothing has changed. But I couldn't help but to think, do you condemn?
That's such a ridiculous
It's a yes
question.
or no.
This
it's
is
yes
an interrogation
or no.
of I'm a New York citizen.
Well, actually, it's a simple question.
Of course. No,
Maybe doesn't want to answer that too.
Can you stop deflecting questions?
She said of course.
Ridiculous.
So what is the difference between Israel's...
I'm not here to... Is she the interviewer or are you?
Actually, she's raising... I think the point she's making, unless I'm wrong, is if you condemn that, why won't you condemn what happened?
Because that was Israel's...
I'm not here to answer her questions because
Can you ask her that for me?
Well, we did this last week. I will now ask what Emily just asked, because it's actually a valid question.
It's Israel's 9/11.
If you're happy to publicly condemn, why are you not happy to condemn Israel? In fact, it was a lot worse statistically.
Is Palestine's 24/7.
That's completely
Let me bring in Louise.
absurd.
Let me bring in Louise here.
I found it really shocking, I have to say, that your organisation Within Our Lifetime said that it was an act of resistance on October the 7th. I mean, that is the most un-Islamic thing I've ever heard in my life. Tying the hands of little children behind them, covering them in petrol. Please tell me, what is resistance about such inhumane of kids?
Since you want to bring up Islam, in Islam we believe that the bloodshed of any innocent person is equal to all of humanity. And this is something that, we believe. Unfortunately, Palestinians are put in a situation where they're in an open-air prison. What we were celebrating that day is them breaking out of that open-air prison. I don't understand how the world expects
It's one
to
of the
lock
reasons.
people.
It's one of the reasons why you're not so keen to condemn what Hamas did on October the 7th.
So she's actually celebrating, huh?
Because you're fearful of publicly doing that. Are all Palestinians fearful of speaking out against Hamas, actually? Because there's a very good reason to be fearful.
No, there's no reason to be fearful. My life is not, if anything, living in New York City my whole life, there are many Zionist institutions, including the universities that I attended, and campaigns against me for being pro-Palestinian, including putting my face on trucks to drive around Midtown and Times Square for 2 weeks just this summer, calling me a jihadi. So that's what I'm fearful of.
It's not because you're pro-Palestine, it's because you're pro. There's a big difference.
Absolutely.
We are all pro-Palestinian liberation from a group called Hamas. Apparently everyone here but you.
What about from the occupation? Are you pro-Palestinian liberation from the occupation, the siege, and the blockade?
You want to talk about occupation?
Asking me questions.
I am asking you questions.
But you're changing the topic the one time I ask you a question.
All right.
Jordan,
I tell you what, Emily, I'll allow that. You have asked her question. She can ask you.
Go ahead.
Go on.
I just asked, do you support Palestinian liberation from the siege and blockade and the occupation? That's factually incorrect. How can I talk to somebody who doesn't even accept basic facts?
The United Nations partition plan divided the land. You waged a war. You
what does that have to do with the fact that there's a 17-year siege and blockade?
Emily, what
They're just talking each other. What
I would say about that, if one country, in this case Israel, is able to turn on and off the tap of water and power and food for the people of Gaza, that is not a healthy situation. You can call it what you like. You can call it occupation. You can call it repression. You can call it control. But that, surely, when they talk about freedom for Palestine, what they mean is we're not reliant on Israel giving us water, food, and energy so we can actually exist.
Correct, and I'm happy you brought up that point because they want their own territory. They want their own governmental body. So when we pulled out in 2005, 2006, why couldn't they establish that for themselves? Why are we giving electricity and water to begin with? And my question is, where's the hundreds of millions of dollars of aid being sent directly to Palestine, directly to Gaza? Where's that money going? But it was a rhetorical question.
Well, actually, it's a question I've got.
Towards rockets.
There's a question.
$600 a rocket, over $500 million.
Well, I would raise a different point, actually.
Why can't you bring
Let me raise this with
land?
Louise. NBC News, more than 80% of Gaza's population live in poverty, according to the UN. We can all agree that. But Hamas has an investment portfolio of real estate and other assets worth $500 million and an annual military budget of $350 million.
Sounds like a lot of electricity.
One of the most disgusting things about this entire period of time has been watching Hamas leaders sitting in Doha, in Qatar, in their five-star hotels, telling poor Palestinian civilians, do not evacuate, do not listen to the IDF, do not get out of these areas that are and preventing them from leaving. That is a war crime.
Nerdeen, are you comfortable with that?
No, that's totally untrue, and I'm glad that you brought that up because Naftali also spoke at it earlier when he talked about how they gave the order to evacuate the north, and we all know that they gave this evacuation order to Gaza on October 13. And what did they do? When they told them there's going to be safe passage on this road for them to evacuate, they
there has been zero
no
proof
word.
Of that.
There's
there has
no
been
word
zero
for that
evidence.
other than
that's not been verified.
Now you're a conspiracy theorist as well.
Not verifiable comments.
Okay, and there's a lot of things that Zionists are doing that are Palestinians, like Biden saying yesterday that the number of Palestinians that have been may not be true. When the Palestinian Ministry of Health had to come out and release a PDF, 231 pages of the names and the ID numbers of every single
I think the point he was making is, look, I wouldn't believe the word of a terrorist on anything, right? You don't see them. I do.
I want to talk about Palestinian lives because you can't be selective. 40% of Hamas rockets backfire and kill innocent civilians. The outrage, it is verified. And I will provide the source right after the show. Quote me on it. It is verified. And secondly, Palestinian outrage about civilians is very selective. When the alleged Israeli army, 500 hospital victims. When they found out it was the Islamic Jihad, where was the outrage
for these children? They didn't find out it was Islamic Jihad.
Oh, they did. It's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
So you want to be a fact denier, or do you want
to talk about one hospital? How many hospitals, how many healthcare facilities have been bombed by Israel? I don't need to focus on one particular hospital.
You're very selective about Palestinian
UN shelters. We know this for a fact.
Are you bothered that they lied? Are you bothered that the Hamas?
I'm bothered that your government. I'm bothered that your government that you used to represent, and that the U.S. government. Yes, of course. What kind of question is that? I'm devastated that 7,000 Palestinians are murdered. I'm beyond sad.
40%
I'm
of
devastated, and I'm
rockets have
devastated
killed
that
your
I
own
pay
civilians in
taxes to the
Palestine.
government that is doing that.
You can leave. You can go back to Gaza.
Well,
Can I go to Gaza? Can I go? No, I can't. I was actually denied entry to Palestine for almost 10 years. I was denied entry when I was 20 years old because of my pro.
Let me just say something. Time out.
Wait.
I do find these
How was his now?
conversations completely gripping, I have to say, because passions are running very high on both sides. I think you both articulate your opinions extremely well. I think they resonate with a lot of people. The last interview that you both conducted with me has had millions of views. This one will do again. We should keep talking. Right, one of the things through this is to keep talking. In
Milking the content.
Northern Ireland, where we had appalling terrorism for a long time, eventually we got to a peace settlement because people just kept talking, and leadership came through that actually wanted peace.
Yeah, and journalism is very important when it comes to this and getting the word out there and talking. And unfortunately, we know that the family of the Al Jazeera Gaza bureau chief Wael Dahdouh was.
Okay.
You know, after they told Qatar to turn down the volume on Al Jazeera.
Ironically, I have to leave it there because I'm going to talk to a very good friend of Evan Gershkovich, who's of course the Wall Street Journal journalist who's been in Russia. So it's not just in this situation.
And happy birthday to Evan.
It's his birthday today.
Birthday,
and I'll be talking to a good friend after the break. Thank you.
Thank you.